What's up, guys? It is Sam here, coming to you live from where I'm at, and I wanted to talk about Andrew Yang and Elizabeth Warren and who is winning. Because an interesting article came out today. Well, I'm not going to even say the word interesting. An article came out today. No, this is not hooked up. An article came out today on Real Clear Politics that talks about how behind Biden, Elizabeth Warren seems like she would have the advantage over to win the nomination for Democratic president. And so I just wanted to take a look at that data, hers, from this article, right, saying that she's next. She's the only person that could beat Biden because her supporters are too similar to Bernie Sanders' supporters. So their supporters are going to be divided between them, and neither one of them are going to be able to be the nominee if they both stay in. That type of argument. So I wanted to take a look at the data so we can get a actual understanding of what is going on for these candidates. Now, I don't follow politics. I don't pretend to follow politics. I don't pretend to know what these candidates stand for. I just find it fascinating what's going on. Now, with that being said, if this is your first time here, I'm Sam. Welcome. If you are returning, it's good to fucking see you. And with that being said, let's go from the macro and then down into the micro. We're going to take a look at their Facebook pages in depth and analyze those, as well as search trends on Google and on YouTube, and looking at some hashtags. We even got into Google Ads to try to understand a little bit more of the data around some of these macro views. So with that being said, let's get into it. In Google Trends, you can compare search terms. So what I have here is Andrew Yang versus Elizabeth Warren. And I feel like there should be scary music right now. And what we've got over the last 12 months, we're going to start with web search, and then we're going to get into YouTube search. So with the web search, over the past 12 months, it looks like kind of 2-1. Elizabeth Warren has been just fucking like super way more data, people looking for her on Google, just way more data. So then let's jump into 90 days. This is the more recent data. And the lead, it was Warren and then Yang with this amount of searches on the web over a 12-month period. And now it's like this in the 90-day view. And if you actually dig into more of the specific states, because Google allows you to do that, you can see that in, it looks like 3 states, Andrew Yang is actually winning, right? Like, think about this as the states as in blue and red that they talk about for the election, right? And then they throw it up on election night, and then they're like, oh, I think this state went to this person, and then they're fucking like calling all that shit out. Think of that, but in real life, in real time, online. So currently, there's more people searching for Andrew Yang in 3 states over Elizabeth Warren. Now, the other states are not obviously 100% one way or 100% the other way. Neither are those 3 states that went for Andrew Yang. But what they are is majority one way or the other way. So over the past 90 days, the 3 states that had the most, that had Andrew Yang at least 50% or more, were North Dakota, Hawaii, and California. California is huge. California's huge. I believe he used to be in tech, so that could be part of the reason why, because that's his native ground. Now, I wanted to jump in one more step and take a look at it in the past 30 days, right? So we were right out here, and now we're just kind of like going to walk forward from there until we get to the actual hashtags and we get to their Facebook pages, where we're going to dive in a little bit more to the nitty gritty. But in the meantime, jumping up to 30 days now, from 12 months to 30 days, the dynamic completely shifts, and Yang is winning on average over the last 30 days by about the same amount that Warren was winning the prior month. So it went from like this to here. So still growing very substantially. And if you look at the breakdown by state, it changes so that Andrew Yang is now about 50, looks like a little bit over 50% of all the states have more search volume in totality on that state level for Andrew Yang is over 50%. It looks like it's got California and Washington, New York, Alaska, Hawaii, Texas, all the eastern type states except for a couple. There's just a lot of states that are, and even some in the Midwest that are going blue, which is Andrew Yang, according to how this is set up on Google Trends. So that is interesting. Now let's come in even closer to 7 days and make this go a little bit quicker. The amount of progress that on average over the last 7 days Yang's had over Warren is about double. That's in terms of people are searching for Andrew Yang about twice as much as they are for Elizabeth Warren over the last 7 days on Google. So that's kind of interesting. And then let's step in one more time to the more recent, the 24 hours. So now we're getting super close. And it almost appears that at the 24-hour mark, Andrew Yang has actually had a threefold to one or 3-to-1 ratio. So it appears that Andrew Yang gets searched for 3 times as much on Google over the last day than Elizabeth Warren. So as we move forward, I don't know if this will tell us anything other than I'm jumping up to within the last hour. It is 8:43 p.m. on August the 12th. So let's take a look at that now. It looks like the growth has subsided when you come down to the hour. So it doesn't look like it's continuing to grow even faster, but even at over the past hour, there's still about 3-to-1, meaning people search for Andrew Yang about 3 times more often than they do Elizabeth Warren. And the interesting thing at the hour level is that now on a state look, meaning a state-by-state basis, which candidate is searched for more, so has at least 50% or more of the search volume in that state. And Andrew Yang has every single state except for, it looks like, Vermont and another state by Texas, which I don't know the name of. So that is incredible to go from completely red at the beginning of 12 months to almost completely blue, and this is the most recent data that we have. So I wanted to take a look at more, because people search for other things instead of just Andrew Yang or Elizabeth Warren. There's people that might look up Yang for president, or Yang gang, or Yang 2020, or Elizabeth Warren, or Senator Elizabeth Warren, or Senator Massachusetts, or whatever. So I wanted to see that data, because that kind of gives you a dispersion of their actual relevance in the market, right? Like the one is a data point, Elizabeth Warren, but what about several data points around them? Because the search volume of that gives you a bigger scope of like the relevance of that person. If you conceptualize that with me here for a second, just like how much more popular in the sense that there's more interest from the market in that. So what I did was I came over to Google Ads, the keyword planner, and I pulled up both Elizabeth Warren and Andrew Yang. And I put it in there. And then I looked for the most relevant things that were other than those two specific things. So just what I was talking about. To look at the next next 6 most searched that are related to those. So Google knows that people who like Andrew Yang also search for these terms, or the same thing with Elizabeth Warren. And what we have here for Yang is Yang 2020, and the search volume around there is 10,000 to 100,000. So that shows a decent amount of traffic. And then the next closest one is Andrew Yang 2020. And I'm going to say what the search volume is on that. And that is 1,000 to 10,000. So you see there's a gigantic drop off, right? From a tenfold drop off from 10,000 to 100,000 down to 10 to or 1,000 to 10,000. Now let's go down to Elizabeth Warren. She has the next closest term that people search for is SEN, S-E-N, Elizabeth Warren, and there's 10,000 to 100,000 searches for that. I think this is over a 30-day period. I should have checked that before I started this. I apologize. Oh, it is over a 30-day period. Perfect. August to July of 18. So it is over 1 year. 1 year. Apologize. Now let's look at number 2 for Elizabeth Warren. It is Senator Warren, India. So maybe she's Indian or whatever. I didn't know that. That is interesting to know. Search volume for that is 10 to 100 searches over the past 12 months. 10 to 100 searches. Now, think back, right? They both had the same starting point, 10,000 to 100,000 for the search term that's closest to their name in relevance, right? It was Yang 2020 and it says Sen, Elizabeth Warren. Each had 10,000 to 100,000. The next step below that is 10,000 or 1,000 to 10,000 for Yang versus a factor down from that of 10 to 100. And that's what it's like for the remainder of the terms for Elizabeth Warren. But when you look at it for Yang, the next one, so this is the third derivative out now, has 100 to 1,000 searches over the last 12 months. So the dispersion of interest around Andrew Yang, according to the picture that I'm painting based on the actual fucking data, is that there's a lot more interest around Andrew Yang online, just putting the data together. I'm not telling you like an opinion, it's just what's there. You can go look at it yourself and maybe try to come up with a different story for this. Like what's going on. But next, what I did is I looked at the hashtags, and I gotta make this quick, so I'm running out of time. I guess YouTube only, or my phone only lets me record 22 minutes, so I gotta make sure that I wrap it up in the next couple minutes. But let's look at the hashtag for Andrew Yang. We have a popularity of 38.9 and a recent popularity score of 46. And the monthly trend for that hashtag is up 3%. Now, the same thing for Elizabeth Warren. Her popularity is significantly higher at 51.5 for her popularity score, according to Hashtagify website. Her recent popularity is lower. Her monthly trend in terms of usage, I would expect, for this hashtag is down 2%. So hers is down, his is up for that usage. Now, let's take a look at their Facebook pages. So moving on to the next topic, we're going to take a look at both Elizabeth Warren and Andrew Yang's Facebook page and do just a little bit of much more subjective, just like first glance type of impressions from these pages. And from Elizabeth Warren, she's got a shitload of people who like her page. 3.2 million people who like her page. Just jumps into posts. She's got one pinned at the top where she's talking to somebody. Pictures. Then she has upcoming events and photos and a bunch of stuff. Nothing super fantastical. A shitload of followers though and likes. She does have her page link out to her campaign page, which is interesting. And it just caught my interest. There's like a pages that liked this page or something, and there's a consumer finance one that did it, Harvard Law School, and the Obama White House. Just kind of like a old establishment type names. You jump over to Andrew Yang. Let me just see if they still notice this. No. At least the intro on Andrew Yang's, just the initial picture captures me just a little bit more than the one on Elizabeth's. First thing he has up is the advertisements for math t-shirts and hat. That's probably interesting. I would like to see the data around how much sales he's getting from that. That would be interesting. Next, it goes into some videos, and then join a group with about 35,000 people in it for the base camp for President Yang. Then there's upcoming events, podcasts. He is a fraction of the size of Elizabeth Warren. He has about 175,000 people who follow his page. We just wanted to do a quick little look at that. Let me make sure he has... Oh, something very interesting here. On his page, which I actually find this very refreshing and is more humanizing in a way. It says very responsive to messages, and there's a little badge on the side of the Facebook page for Andrew Yang, and there is no such badge on Elizabeth Warren. So it just means, it tells that they're, in my interpretation of it, right? Like that this person is open to having a conversation if they were very responsive. Somebody might just be managing their page for them. I don't know, but it's a good thing for me to see this on a page. Now let's jump over to Social Blade and pull up these same profiles on Social Blade to see how they're growing, right? And we've got Andrew Yang here, and over the past, it looks like 2 weeks or so, he has had a total number of likes. I think this is on his content, not on his page. Likes on his content of 24,000, almost 24,000 likes. That's tremendous. Elizabeth Warren remember, she's got almost 3.3 million followers on her page, has about 26,000 likes. So what that tells me right off the bat is that Andrew Yang's are substantially more engaged. However, he is a fraction of the size, so I would expect the engagement rate to be higher when your base is very, very low. And then I did some math. So just over the past 12 days, Andrew Yang's Facebook page is growing 27 times faster from followers, 27 times faster than Elizabeth Warren's over the last, all the data I had was for about the last 12 days, going back to the 30th of July, and his page is growing over 27 times faster than her page is. That is incredible. That is incredible. Yes, he does have a tiny little base, right? He has like 175,000. She's got 3.3 million. But that is just tremendous, tremendous. Now, what those growth rates are, because people are going to not know what the fuck that means when I say 27 times faster. Well, basically, she's growing at less than 0.5% from her followers in the last 12 days or so. She hasn't grown, or 14 days more likely. She hasn't grown more in the past 2 weeks. She's grown by 0.5%. Like, if you annualize that, that's still tremendous. It's like absolutely insane, right, to do that every 2 weeks. But if you look at his page, it's growing at like 13.67%. Like, that is incredible. That is so incredible over such a short period of time. If anybody knows the math and you just annualize that, that's insane numbers. Anyways, this is probably about to cut off very shortly, so I did want to wrap this up. If you guys like this analysis, share this video with somebody else. It really helps the channel out. Also, smash that like button, because that tells the YouTube SEO to share this video with more people who might like it. And if you guys want to see another comparison, let me know down below in the comments, and I might do a video on it. I really like this style of video. I appreciate any feedback down below. Don't forget to subscribe and press that bell notification. Peace.